they write ways. I'm going to talk to the ancient force. It has ancient powers from humanity into a much better. The wrong with that album. Might do the exact same thing. Humanity into a much better. The wrong with that album. My do the exact same thing. Hello YouTube and welcome back to part 11 of our Nuclear Blast Battle Royale. And before we even think about getting started, whoever designed this cover for Twilight Force's Tainted of the Ancient Prophecies, give that man a raise. Give whoever made this a raise. Because it looks like it was friggin' pulled out of like a 1970s comic book, and I you know what I want to do right now? I want to get on that Charizard, fly over to Rising from Dio, and literally, friggin' burn down that wizard myself and set all those people free. That's what I want to do. Wait, hang on a minute. What the hell? What the hell did I just say? Whatever, guys, I'll explain this later tonight, but I have absolutely not quite been in my element today, and for reasons you won't probably believe, so I may as well not mention them here. Sorry about that. If you're watching my videos for the very first time right now and you have absolutely no idea what's going on, you're not the first. So with all that being said and done, if you guys want to check out the original video for yourselves, please check out the links in the description down below. Let's begin. The power of the ancient force. In 3, 2, 1, and... Considering how we started off today, by we're talking about stuff like Cataclysm and being possessed by Animus, you have no idea how different it is from talking about Animus and Cataclysm to now we're moving on to stuff like Twilight Force. The difference is startling in their approaches. and I like both of them, but I do admit I quite like the stuff from Twilight Force just a wee bit more, but that comes down to taste, if you ask me. These guys, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta tell you right now, these guys right here, they are ballads, ladies and gentlemen. Twilight Force don't write songs, they write ballads. They write wonderful, like, literally, like, fables and legends of history, and they put them to music. And in this case, the power of the ancient force is something akin to chivalry, or something akin to knighthood. In a land of mighty warriors, honor and glory, eternally wisdom, oh howly wisdom, dwelling within his sword, possibly the sword Excalibur. Thousands of, this is a guess, thousands of universes burn before my eyes. Tales of ancient prophecies came true and left again. History was carved anew and lit the hope of men, and the knights of Twilight's might will rise again. For the power of the ancient force. I'm going to do this video in slightly two different ways. I'm going to talk to you about what I think the Twilight Force is from TF's perspective, and then I'm going to go through the ancient force from my perspective. They talk about the legend of this sword that has ancient powers from across the universe to lend humanity into a much better direction. The idea is that now we've gained knowledge. We've gained knowledge by being worthy enough to retrieve the sword, the Excalibur, from the stone. Did the stone itself, did that have a name or not, or was it just called the stone that Excalibur was pulled out of? Eyes are burning bright, and we gaze into galaxies, and the distant skies are burning bright, so rise. Lo and behold, I come to you finally. Storms are coming from the mountain, casting a shadow on fate of men higher, fly higher and higher. Victorious whispering winds, he raised his sword in furious anger, a strike of lightning at his side. That night, the unholy Force Lord fell by the hand of light. Darkness has been conquered because of a man who simply had light on his side. Thousands of universes, tales of the ancient prophecies, and the knights of Twilight's might rise again. I really. When this 2014, this album came out in 2014, and with again who is out there making some of these artworks for these guys, because I love them. I really love them. I love the fact you just indulge in trying to. It's just like in Rainbow's Rising. That was the cover for that was awesome, and I wouldn't put it past me if they were trying to replicate sort of like the the themes of like chivalry and mysticism that went along with that album. My voice is slowly dying, so I do apologize. Now, I kind of like want to move on towards what I believed I got out of that song. Now, first off, and we're going to start off with the music. The music seems to be like just this, a path in history of like this. You know what I think actually of this music? I think it's like, what was that Mickey Mouse short, the Magician's Apprentice, of, well, some kind of apprentice who's leading us through this period of history, and who's searching, like, we're going back in time and this narrator is telling us of this miraculous tale. And all I can think of right now is, you know what? There's an ancient prophecy, that there's an ancient force somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what I think? I think it's up to each and every single one of us to find it. Not just to find it, but to utilize it, however you may be. And you know the great irony about the ancient force, ladies and gentlemen? It is not in an item, it's not in like a sword, it's not in a kind of weapon. The ancient force was always inside us, inside here, and it's up to us to utilize it, or to maybe place some kind of like emotional investment in this power, so that we are motivated enough to do the most miraculous and spectacular things for the very short time we have left on this earth. And you know what? If we do good because of the power within us all, somebody else somewhere might have the courage to stand up and do the exact same thing. What I need to like have really strongly take away from this video, and from my perspective, is that I have an influence, I have a force, I have a message, and I want to share it out to the world. And you know what? The more seriously I take my videos, the more seriously I take myself, then you know what? I think it's all going to come full circle. I think the more time, the more effort, the more I've got to say, the more I could just be expressive, the more I could just be okay with myself for what I say, for what I do, from here until my time comes, then you know what? There'll be somebody somewhere else might think and feel the exact same way. It's a slightly Manowar sort of look about this, but you know what? Manowar are just about the only other band in the world that have the power to say that sort of thing and to invoke feelings of chivalry, of violence is not strength and compassion is not weakness. Camelot, ladies and gentlemen. As it turns out, Camelot is more than just a model. But actually, speaking of models, Twilight Force, I've got to like make sure that the next video I do about them isn't 8 months down the line. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this reaction video. Please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys thought of The Power of the Ancient Force for yourselves by Twilight Force. Please make sure to also like and subscribe to get daily notifications when my videos come out. And I hope to see all of you guys again in the next reaction video. Take care. Bye-bye for now.